Okay, so this video is going to be about creating a Photoshop action that you can turn on and off to pause it at a certain point and let you input specific information, particularly for adding titles. So let's reopen one of our images from batch practice and pretend that we want to add some kind of beautiful title about the image to it. So let's drop that into Photoshop. We have it here. Our action panel is already open right here. And we're going to build a new action. So let's look into this personal website action that we already created, and let's build a new one. And we're going to call this image title because that's what it's going to be. And I should probably spell that right. There we go. I'm going to give it a color so we can see it, and then it doesn't need a function key. It's in this set. That's fine. We'll click record. So if you're not ready to record, you can always pause it and then start again later. And you can also pause mid-action. So you can be middle of doing something, stop it, make a change that you don't want to be part of the action, and then continue recording the action. So it's very flexible. But now that we're recording, let's grab our type tool, which might take a second to initialize. Oh, went fast that time. I want the text to be a really bright color just so we can see it and make sure the action functions properly. So we're going to go with kind of like a really gaudy green here. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to change the typeface to something also rather gaudy so we can see it. And I am going to draw a text box this time instead of clicking. And I'm going to center the text. It's already centered, so maybe I'll go back and forth. I'll center it. And I'm going to type the title, and this is going to be called Clownfish. And it's too small, so let's bring that up significantly larger. And the reason it looks small now is because if you remember before in the action, we had made our image much smaller. Now the image is larger, so we need really large type. So let's make it 160 and see how that looks. Perfect. So we have this really big, super silly looking title. I'm going to click out, and it's going to make the text layer. What I will then want to do is I want to rename the text layer, and this is important because remember how the text layer takes on whatever type we have here? If we don't rename it at this stage, the action will try and continue, and if you ever try to use this layer again, it's going to look for the original name of the first time you made it. So it's going to look for clownfish, but if in the next image I type octopus, it's not going to be able to find it, and the action's going to fail. So I'm going to click here. Let's see if I can get it to open up. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to call this title because now it's the title. I'm going to click out, and we can see set current layer. That's what it did. It just changed the layer. Now this is really hard to see. So I'm going to double click title, and I'm going to add, an outer glow or a drop shadow or something. So let's just do an outer glow, and let's make it dark. So I'm going to make it like a gray color. And I'm going to take it off screen. I'm going to set it to multiply so that we can see it. Spread it out a little. Bring the size up. And I don't want you to title any of your work like that, but there you go. It's a good effect. We see what's happening. We can see set layer styles of, so we've added that to it. And now it's just a matter of exporting it. So let's save it for web again, because this will automatically shrink it down so we can make it much smaller. Let's go, we'll stick with 75 quality, high quality. Let's make it, I don't know if I really want to change these. Let's make the percentage, let's drop it down by percentage instead to 50%. So it'll be 50% smaller than the original. Hopefully that should work there. And of course you can click through these. We saw it automatically resized for us. And I think that's good. We'll have it convert to sRGB here, so we'll try this out.
How did you get to that page?
I went to File, Save for Web. So now we click Save. Once again, never save it in the original location, but we have the desktop already selected. So I'll click Save. And then that's good. And then I'm going to go to Close. So Command W, or you can just click the X. And then I'm not going to save because I never want to save over the original. And then I click Stop. So now if we look at this, we should see our exported file. Let's go back into our action and let's make it so that when we get to the text layer, we can input new text. And the way we do that is we got to go find Make Text Layer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click Toggle Dialog On and Off. Now this should work. We'll check it out. We can also toggle it on for the export. So that way when it gets to the export, we can customize the settings each time if you wanted to do that. So now that that's working, let's, instead of batching it and finding out, let's just pull it in and double check with another image. So we've got this one. And now I'm going to turn off the close so that it won't close on us before we've seen what happens. So it's a good way to check your images, turning off the close. Selecting the action, which is called image title, hit play, and we can see it pauses here. So one thing you want to know is don't go click any other tools or it's going to end it. It's going to jump to the next stage. So just type. So we'll call this jellyfish. So what I probably should have done is when I got to set the layer, I probably should have aligned it to a location I wanted to. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the place. But that's fine. This is for the purpose of just seeing what happens. Once you're done, all you have to do is click out, and the action will continue. And then if we look, it's pausing for us again to make any different setting changes that we want to make. So let's set this to 5 or to 50. We'll just click out to make it happen. Oh, hit cancel. I don't want a matte color. And then hit done. And there we go. It should have, did it save or did I not click save? Oops. So if you accidentally do that, if you get to a certain point but you messed up or the action didn't continue, you can select a part of the action to start up at. So I'm selecting export and now I'm going to hit play and it will just play from that part of the action onward. So that was actually a good mistake. So I'll change this again to 50. Click out so that it adjusts. Hit save. And now, this time, because I have it toggled at this point, I can now rename it. So this, you may actually want to toggle this on for the saving so you can get your names done ahead of time. It's up to you how you like to do it. And then click Save. And then I can just close it by hand. And then I'm going to hit Don't Save. I'm going to toggle the close back on. And now we're going to test it with our batch. So actually, another cool thing we can do here, since we're doing all kinds of little details, let's open this in Photoshop. Let's add a part to the action that's already created, because now I thought about it, I should probably align that text layer so that in horizontal and vertical image it ends up in the right spot. So what I can do is I can toggle off make text layer set current. I'm going to toggle everything past set current text layer. I'm going to click here and I'm going to hit play, and it's going to play to that point and it's going to stop. Now it's going to let me input something, so I'm going to hit octopus and then click forward and it will play through. So we're now at this location. I'm going to click that location in the action. It's important to click where you want to start recording again. Hit record, and now I can select both layers. You see it's adding it in between. I can center, and then I can continue. I can stop now that that's recorded, turn these on, and play it from that part of the action to finish it off. So I hit play, and it says command says not available, continue, and it will move forward. Sometimes you got to go back and forth a couple times to make sure you get that right. You may have some actions that fail, like they'll say command not available or something doesn't work. You just got to play with them until you get used to working with it. And now I'm going to call this octopus. I'm going to save it. So we see that it kind of jumped a little bit, so maybe I should move that set layer back after make text layer, set text layer, select. So maybe that will work better. So you can rearrange things, you can work with it just like layers. I'm going to turn off the dialog box for export because I don't want to rename them, and now we're going to test it with a batch and see if it works. So we go to File, Automate, Batch, choose the folder, which it's already selected, but I just want to show you. There it is. We've got image title, that's the correct action. We're going to click OK. And it's going to start working, and we're going to call this, I don't even know how to spell anemone, so I'm just going to call this, like, maybe that's its name. I don't want to spell it wrong for permanent video forever. And I think this is a tang. No, I don't think it's a tang, but it might be. It's something. I'm like suddenly, I have to know what all these fishes are. I'm going to call this coral, even though I know that's a living creature. That might be eggs. We know what this one is, so I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to click forward. So you can have it set and then leave it. We know what this is, so we'll call it a jellyfish. I'm going to set that one. And then we also know what this is, so we'll set octopus. So you just got to make sure to click out. We know what a piranha is, but I forgot how to spell it. It's piranha. Wait, no, that's what it's going to be like spelled like for now, so that's perfect. You guys are going to like laugh at this later. And then we have another one, so I'm going to call this orange because that's the color of it. Click through, and we're going to call this school because it's a school of fish. And this is a type of catfish, I believe. And then this is the title. We can see that this image was differently sized, so this text looks huge. So we can actually make some changes right here, as long as it's within the tool that you're using. So we made that a little smaller. Hopefully that helps. So there we go. So we're done. So let's check them and see if they worked. I think they did. Hit spacebar and perfect. So you see the only difference is because this was a larger image, when we set to fit image, the text looks bigger because this is actually a bigger image because it's sizing the vertical at 1,000 versus the horizontal. So you can play with your sizing, and you can see that one's still giant because this was a really, really low resolution graphic and it was very small. So you can see some of the issues that might occur with size. But other than that, that is how you adjust your Photoshop actions.